Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the MI podcast. Within the MI podcast, you have seen me covering various topics on marketing, but going forward, I'll be getting into other kinds of topics which are kind of interesting in general and which it'll open up various facets basically of the personality of the guests who are coming down. Because I think a all-round approach about like understanding them not just from the professional capacity but also a personal capacity. So today's topic of discussion will be around founders and how they can let's say a lot of in marketing is used 5x 10x their growth. So there are certain principles of that as well as I would say hacks also when you go along within the industry. You have to keep learning and implementing. So basic principles would be there, but then also there would be things that you learn from the market, and as the market changes so rapidly with digitalization, AI and all, you have to learn those things so that you are kind of relevant for the same. So in order to discuss this thing with me in how to have a growth mindset basically as a founder, I have with me Zaunty Gupta. Hi Zaunty, how are you?
I'm very good, Nikhil. How's you?
I'm also doing well. So you are based in Mumbai.
Yeah, I'm based in Mumbai. So last 30 years I have been in Mumbai.
That's right. That's right. So Zonti would identify as a business coach. If I would, it's right to say that like a business coach or some other term you like to use for yourself.
So in a way, business coach is the bigger entity which I can say, but I work very closely with the business founders. So I call myself a coach to a business founder, but as you know, business founder life is all about the growth of the business vertical. So in a way, these two become synonymous.
That's right. So Zonti, if you could take us through like your journey in terms professionally, if we could get a context of it, and then obviously currently your role also we'll get into that.
So my journey started in Delhi when I was more like a sports guy. My dad shifted to Mumbai in '94 and I shifted with him, and then through some common friends I went into media. So till
So you're like in terms of family background, your father was he a businessman?
no, he was a banker.
Okay.
So he was working with the
Like a job only he was doing.
Yes,
Government job or enterprise?
Common job.
Okay, awesome. So then like he shifted, it was a job
Yes.
related, then he shifted to Mumbai. Okay.
Yeah, he got transferred. So he was working with Syndicate Bank that time. So he got transferred to Mumbai, and I being very young, I shifted with him.
Okay. So what was your graduation in?
So I graduated in like a BCom, and then I did my MBA in between the journey, although not after graduation. So after graduation, I did software engineering, did couple of jobs in that, but could not really do the 96 jobs. Through a common friends, then I went into advertising. So I was.
So what was it like that for doing a normal job? Like what did you feel like when you're working as a software engineer? Then what was it like? You didn't like the work or just a general like a normal format 9 to 5? You didn't like, what was it about?
So when I did my software engineering, I was pretty good at it, and software engineering in 96, 97 was coming up. So I thought it will be a pretty goal job to design some programs for the companies and all, but in 3-4 months when I really sit down and created, so I could not sit down like doing this similar kind of thing for a long time that way. So lost interest I can say in that, and just got the opportunity somewhere else, so then shifted the complete profile of mine.
That's right. Many of the youth, they take engineering obviously because it's like an obvious thing for, they feel it's a lucrative industry. So it's like some people who maybe are not really like engineering also, then you kind of pursue it in the course. Is it right to say that? Then you kind of discover later what you can be good in basically.
With Gen Z, they have a lot of options.
Yeah, now it's a different one.
Yeah, when I graduated, there were only 2-3 options. Either you become a CA or an engineer or a doctor. So because medical was very far sighted for me, so I just took up engineering, and that too computer engineering in that way. So start was good, but yeah, I think I was not meant to do that. Although it is still helping me Because when I did this computer engineering, when I used to make programs, it became a very logical sense of what you need to do. So you learn
Logical
logically.
and analytical thinking
Right.
skills really you enhance them. Yeah.
So like you said, ki any kind of education is good. So they really
Yes.
helped me, but not as a profession as such.
That's right. So then, what was your first job in the media?
So I was acting like a brand manager, a client servicing guy for a couple of ad agencies. So for 3 years I did like a client servicing brand manager job in advertising agencies, and then through a common friend I got a chance to work for CNBC TV18. So that was a natural progression, and that's what my life in television started.
Oh, sure.
So 13 years from 99 till 2012 I was working with different production houses, with different satellite channels like Star TV, Sony TV, and last company I worked was a company called Viscraft.
So what was your role within those companies?
So I was handling the production part. So I was the production consultant and the production, I will say, coordinator for that in the start, and then gradually it moved more towards commercial part. So although professionally or as a designation my job was not commercial, but my liking was more towards creating the commercial, looking after the commercial part of the shoots that I did. So my focus and I did only was reality shows. So creating the budgets for those reality shows, getting it approved from the channel, and then making sure the company makes profit on whatever the approved budgets were. That was my role.
That's right. Those roles, like when you see now in the market, what are they called? Like that kind of a role when you run?
So now there is a commercial department which is there in every company. So it is more related
some
to
kind of producer, I think you call it, like
producer is more of a creative producer in which they have to create the format for different, it may be OTT, it may be your television, films, whatever. Our role is more of a back-end role in which we have to make sure everything is in place.
In terms of the monies, so whatever is assigned budgets accordingly is followed, shoot is happening on time and as per thing. And
correct. And we also make money in that because when the budget is allocated, either through we have really arranged that finances, or even if the satellite channels have given us that money, so we have to make sure that we save, the production house save some money. So from all the deals that are being done with the vendors, so then the shoot has to happen in time. Everything from start to end, whatever goes in the background is the role of somebody like me and the team.
That's right. That's interesting. So within that, like that work, you enjoyed it, or how was it like what were your learnings from it?
So I enjoyed till it happened, but then it was becoming very monotonous. Although it is a very glamorous industry, you are working with all the top big Bollywood stars and all. But for a back-end guy like me, it was very monotonous. So I start losing interest at a very fast clip. So money was good, everything was good, but again, it was not something which I was enjoying. And that's why in 2012, I quit the industry.
So in your that journey, any like shows you want to talk about, like that is some of the things you really did that you feel it was a good achievement that I was working for those particular shows or something?
Yeah, so couple of shows actually. One show was the Great Indian Laughter Challenge, from which Kapil and everybody has came in. So when we were doing it for Star, so a new channel, Star One had started, and that show
was it like the first season?
Yeah,
that you were then.
I did first couple of seasons for that.
Okay.
So in the start, when a comedy and then a challenge, a competition between comedy artists happened, so not many comic artists were ready for it. In our first show, Mr. Bhagwan.
It was a new concept only, like there was no stand-up for like a pan-India audience, like a stand-up show. After that, all those comedy circus, and I don't know how many all started with that format where you're just performing on stage. It was like single, and then it became like a play kind of thing, which till today Kapil Sharma and all they use. So that was interesting. So like you were on like set and all used to.
No, so I did with the creative team. We did all the Reiki and then getting the people from the small parts of India, like Mr. Ahsan Qureshi. We got it from Jabalpur. So
Okay.
that we had to go, when we had to get those people, we had to go deep inside the cities and to get them, to make them, ki, okay, this is a good thing. And you are not being judged for your talent. It is just ki we are highlighting your talent to the whole world, which is right now in the pockets. So that was a very interesting show which we did.
Yes.
And
This
the-
even I think Sudesh Lehri, the one he was mentioning that like maybe someone from they had only reached out to him, because he's a big name in Punjab, and then they convinced him to then come on that particular show. That was in the later seasons that happened.
No, in first season we had Mr. Bhagwat Mann, who is the Chief Minister of Punjab right now.
Yes.
So he was one of the contestants in that show.
That's it.
So we had very good then people really wanted to come.
That was
forward
like
and
the
do that.
first one where there was an entire rage about it. Like it became like a super hit blockbuster. Everyone was talking about it at that time. I think
Yes.
2005 was the first
2005.
season, yeah. And they've not looked back. It was like Raju Srivastav and Sunil Pal. I think they were the two
Correct.
biggest names which then came out, and they had a lot of success and various shows. So awesome. So any other show then you were like
So that in the later half of my career in the media, I did show called Entertainment के लिए कुछ भी करेगा. Again,
That's
that was a very nice show,
Yes.
a new concept which came, and that was a daily show. So the best part about that show was कि because it was short, because it was 5 days a week, the telecast. And we used to wrap up by 9:30. So, and the telecast used to happen at 10 o'clock. So every day after the shoot, I used to go home and watch the episode. So that was a good thing which never happened in the rest of my career. And shooting was fun. The team
That
was
is very hectic. Like utne karke then shoot and almost like within an hour it's releasing. I mean,
No, it was not a live telecast.
Okay.
But the last week's telecast used to happen like so we could show. Malab
so
really,
what was the like say shooting to going on TV? How much time was it?
it usually takes weeks to 10 days time
Okay.
in those times.
Okay.
Malab, for such kind of a show.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to have a weekly shoot. Malab, so usually the shoots happen on Sunday or Monday,
That's
Tuesday shoots happen, and then Saturday, Sunday is the telecast.
Yes.
So that
Yeah,
is-
because I was when I heard that, like I was, I was not that shocked in terms of even if you say it is like after a day or two, because some TV people have mentioned that in interviews that it's so much cut to cut. So that is adds to the stress and all that and that. So, but it's a part of the game and TV. So awesome. So Zaunty, then move on to like you left the television industry. So then after that, like you took a job somewhere, or then it was your business?
No, so then I had some money as a backup which I had saved. So I thought, I will do some businesses. So there it all started, I should say. So I did 2-3 businesses, and most of them went up very fast and then came down. So that was.
But they were in like which domain you explored?
So I started a cafe. Then with my wife, we started art and craft classes, as well as her. She's a graphic artist, so we also had like a personalized gifting company. So 2-3, even I learned a coaching part. So I learned coaching, so I was helping people to achieve their goals. So like I said, that was the first part when I understood what is a coaching and what is a
But that
core
was coaching in what specifically? When you ventured first time into it?
It was just basic coaching. So I did couple of courses, I did NLPs and I did hypnotherapy. So I tried to use it with people who could benefit from that. So it was mostly people whom I know. So they said, I have a goal, but individual people who had some goals, and I helped them to achieve that goal. That included one of my friends becoming a CA. So she was struggling with that. So she became a CA with that, and a couple of people.
So like, so specifically what were you coaching on? Like for example, the CA?
Goal coaching. So it was goal. You have a goal.
Yeah.
So Nikhil, I would have been in those times, and if you would have came to me, I would ask, what is your goal? So it
So
could
like
be
say a
any goal.
corporate person says, I want to work for, like Amazon or something.
Correct.
So then how do you go?
So then I will help them to chart out a territory from where they are, the starting point, where they are and where they want to be. And then we do the gap analysis, and once the gap analysis is done, then we will take the tons to achieve in like milestone to milestone, how they can achieve that. And that's what pattern I learned in 2014 when I first started. But it could not go for long because at that time I was not getting enough clients, so as to say.
That is the important thing in business coaching. where you have a really good pipeline like of leads, people who can like a qualified lead. Then because उसमें से भी then it kind of you along your funnel like who will become your client. Like you
Correct.
have 10 leads, maybe you make one client. So yeah, that was there. So that you felt, like what was the reason maybe you're not getting enough leads and all?
Because
what was
people
that
were
reason?
not ready to pay for coaching at that time. I felt in 2014.
This is almost like 10 years back.
Yes, people were not ready for coaching, or otherwise they wanted to get coached by bigger names. So if somebody like me who's new to the system, so they understand that they can get some benefits, but to shell out that kind of money, maybe that was the disconnect. And that time social media was not that what it is right now.
Yeah.
So to connect to people, you have to just look around your network.
Yeah.
And that's how a break came up, because when I was into media, I used to weigh 121 kgs. And then when I got some time to take care of myself, I worked on myself and reduced weight and took care of my fitness. So a lot of the executive producers and directors who were working with me in media, they came to me. So they approached me and said, you have taken care of yourself, why don't you help us? And by default, I entered into coaching part only, but into fitness niche. So then 4 years from 2014 till 2018, I was helping in the fitness of people.
Like as a coach, fitness
as a
coach.
fitness coach.
Okay.
So slowly I built
So you
up a
did
big
like
team.
a certification within that, and then
Yes, I
Gym
did certification.
and all that, yeah, okay.
Yes, I did certification in personal training, and then I also did in sports nutrition. So I became a
That's
complete coach. But because, and again I developed a big team. So I had a team of around 17, 18 fitness trainers, nutritionalists, psychologists, martial artists. They all were working with me. Because my niche was...
So like, was it like, did you have a gym of your own, or
No.
was it like, how did the business, what is the structure and how was it like?
So my niche was always home fitness. So wherever you are, I always believe to take you to a gym is difficult because the paucity of time, and then sometimes when you are not fit enough, you don't want to go to a gym because you feel a bit shy. So what I used to do was I started with couple of clients in which I used to train them, or my team used to train them at home. And then we put up a lot of equipment at home. And then they said, I'm getting bored of similar kind of training. So then I got a yoga teacher. They said, I'm yoga se bore ho rahe hain. And then I got a martial artist. So then I built up the team around that. There were so many different, I will say, styles which were helping them for their fitness, and definitely dietitians were always there. So then it created a system in which they had a lot of variety to play with. And I was the
So
mind
like
coach.
in terms of, if I'm understanding the structure, was it like you, they were on your payroll, or is it like a project to project basis?
No, 70% people were on my payroll, and some were freelancers who used to get paid when they used to get some business from me.
Acha. So
So
that's
I
really
was-
good. Like you were able to employ quite a bit of people. So like obviously then it's easier to put in your values and your this thing into that, because they are like your employees only basically.
No, really what happens is then, as you may be aware, fitness is more in the vicinity of mornings and evenings. Usually after 9:30, not many people take up coaching as such in fitness.
Exactly.
So I need to have the team, if the slots are available, we need to fix those slots. Otherwise people, if everybody will be a freelancer, then they will take those morning slots for their own freelancing. And then if a client asks for that time slot, I may not have that time slot available. So that's why I hired people for those time slots, so that those time slots are available for me.
That's it.
So I was more acting like more of a mind conditioning coach with the clients of mine. And those trainers or the dietitians or the martial artists, with helping them there with the physical stuff and the diet.
Yeah, the mind thing is more important actually in this, because generally people know what this is, samosa would be unhealthy in this, but you still eat it. Like, so that is where your mind, and today's day and age, everything is in front of you. In ChatGPT you can get a very specific plan for yourself. But I feel that's where services today is more personalized and giving you that mindset kind of thing, because that is what is for executing. Like today you can get any kind of information, but to really execute it, if you have a complete plan, that's where a fitness trainer would come for accountability,
Correct.
right? And how to develop that in yourself, that is where the services are going now at the moment. Yeah.
Maybe to extend it to what you said, even in the fitness coaching, there were 3 parts which I used to play. The first part was their mind has to be ready to do what they are supposed to do, because they can have any kind of goal, but if mind is not ready to achieve that goal, then definitely very high chances they're all.
So like, will you not take the client only, like if you feel he's not having the mindset for
No,
it?
mindset is always there, but
Yeah.
sometimes they are in a hurry. Like people used to come when they saw the results that I was giving, they used to come. Ki, look, my marriage is there, so in 5 months I need to reduce 30
I think
kgs.
that is the biggest, like, जो pool है, segment है, जो about to get married, they want to lose weight for
Correct.
both men and women. So वो रहता है कि वो 6 महीने बाद है, so he'll start that. That is the
So
most.
at that time I used to say no, because I said ki my style is not a quick fix thing. So I will suggest ki don't waste time and money on me. This is my dietitian's number. Please you go and get a diet which will help you with that. I am a fitness coach. Definitely when you do fitness coaching, your weight loss, your fat loss will happen, but the way in which it will happen will be slow and steady, so that it stays. Rather than I doing some quick fix with you and then after 6 months you are back to square one in a negative way. Because again, if you do some things in which your potential to reduce a lot of weight is there, but you will not be able to maintain it. So that's not my style, and that's what I did at that time. So if the mindset is for quick fix, I used to say no. If they are okay to give some time, effort, so that it becomes sustainable, then I will be the best person to do that.
That's it. Okay, now we'll move to, like, then after that fitness business. Then obviously, I think then you went into coaching.
So I was, like I said, Nikhil, I was always a mind conditioning coach.
Yeah.
So what I was seeing is ki again in fitness I entered by default. I didn't want it to enter into it, but because I was not getting enough coaching work in other niches, and people came.
So you had to pivot in a sense.
I did that, but I was losing interest.
Yes.
So being a mind coach in 2018, I read a book which is called Start With Why. That really influenced me a lot.
That's right.
The learning from that book was ki, why are you doing what you are doing? As the case, I was losing interest in fitness coaching. Then when I start looking at from that viewpoint, from that mindset, ki why are the people around me are doing what they are doing? So then I approached one of my fitness coaching clients. Look, I was being with him for 1 year, and he is a business owner, a business founder. So I said, look, I have developed something. Let me give it a try with you. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, as the case is, you don't have to pay me anything. Because I wanted to see how mindset coaching or high mind conditioning coaching can work in business space. Is it useful, not useful? And then in 2019, with the same client, I entered into mind conditioning coaching, or the coaching with the business founder. That's how my journey started.
Okay, so 2019 was where you now, which is currently also which you are pursuing for the founder specifically.
Yes.
That is right. Specifically, like, I would say, what would be your clientele? Like, what is, if you could describe like a persona, 2-3 personas, that these are the kind of clients I take.
So Nikhil, I have worked with around 46 or 47 business founder till now. I will say 90% of them will be in the age group of 40 to 45. They will be making around, I will say, 2 to 5 CR.
But this is like what, a business income or what?
Business income, their business turnover. It will be like that. And they would have at least a team of, I will say, 15-20 plus when I started with them.
Okay.
And they could be from different domains, because I have worked with almost all domains, from engineering, from IT companies, from logistic companies to marketing. So I have worked with all domains. And so the persona, the ICP will be somebody who is already successful, but now they are stuck because they don't know. They know, but they are not able to go to the next level of their growth. That is where my program helps them to go to the next level.
So, like, say, if you have someone who is inherited a business, would that come also under wherein they would have. There are many businesses who don't, maybe it's a choice or whatever, they don't want to grow also that much or this thing
Right.
keep it. So those also would be somewhere like you have,
Yeah, couple
or
of
have
business.
they been like कि startup खुद का करके and then they reach that level, like you will call them self-made and
So couple of legacy businesses I've worked with, in which the son wanted to do something else. So what they asked me or what they wanted my help was to set up their existing business so that they can also focus on the other startup that they want to pursue. So once the systems and processes are there in the existing system, which are already there but is as a new age thing. So that's what my role, the first role with them was to set up the business in a way in which, so look, this is again a new fad, कि business can run without business founder. I don't believe in that. That practically is not possible. Because business founder is the one who will drive the business. Yes, but my role is so that their 30-40% time can really get free so that they can focus their 70% time on what they do best.
Yeah.
So some of the business owners I've worked are very, very good in sales. Some are technology guys, some are operations guy. But because right now they're working in as a head of all department, the business is going nowhere. So what we have to do is to create the systems and get the middle management in for the things which they are not very good at. So we have like a CTO or we have a CBO who takes care of some part of the business so they can focus on the business part which they are very good at.
That is what happens in the businesses, that they are not like, they are too much into the operations. So strategy wise and going forward and really making changes, like which you would say a CEO of a company does,
Right.
they are not getting much time into that, and they would feel they are very busy, but productivity is not happening. And the way the industry is, how competitive is getting, and it's easier to get in, as a business where that is also a good thing, where you have that scene where availability of finance is more easier, like compared to that is what a startup movement is there. So that creates more competition, and you have to strive to, it's not like just a survival thing, because then you get into कि मेरा वो 2 crore का business and you continuously वही पे रह रहा है and expenses बढ़ रहे हैं, so then profitability is, so if you take over a period of time, it's not like a very successfully running business. On the face of it, you could see, but profitability wise, you're not this thing.
No, even if profitability is increasing, but it's going in a linear way.
Yeah.
So 10-20% you are able to increase the business, the expenses grow. Even if you are able to increase it much more than what you think is the minimum threshold for them. But what happens is the business start going out of their control. Because when it is a small team, they are able to control a team of 15-20. But when it goes more than that, then you need to have in-between people, which a lot of business founders are not very, very comfortable with. They are so used to controlling the whole aspect of their business. When the team grows, and now they have to give something up to somebody, so that the business grow to a point in which they want to do that. That uncomfortableness starts coming in. They get a bit, I will say not paranoid, but yeah, that sense of eerie comes in.
That's right. Zaunty, in terms of, let's say, what are like major challenges? If you could make like some points where these business owners, they have like the size that we talked about, we would call them like SME, or like what would you categorize?
Small and medium business.
Small and medium. So their founders were generally like, let's say solo founders only, or maybe 2 of them. What are the major like challenges in terms of, let's take it, scaling up? So they are kind of comfortable where they are, but scaling up little bit also. So what are the challenges they face in that?
I will say there are, working with so many business founders, 3 major challenges which happen. One, they are trying to use the same systems in their sales, in marketing, in operations, what has got them to till now. But that may not work. For a 10 CR or a 20 CR business, the system that you have got it till 5 CR may not work. But then they keep on doing the same things and expecting different results. So that's one of the major changes in which the mindset change has to happen. The second major challenge which I see is their core team is not trained, or either it is not there. So it's a very flat structure. The founder is there, 1-2 people are there who are helping him on the like a management side, and then the people who are working. The middle management, the senior management is not there. But when you want a growth in their ventures, you
Is
need to
it
have
because
that.
like they are not hiring guys with a good amount of salary, like they want saving in that aspect?
Not really, but they think they are the best person to do whatever it is needed.
Hmm.
So that again the mindset comes into the picture in which they have to get comfortable working with senior people. As of till now, they were the best person in the company. Maybe couple of people were there who were very good in sales or technology, but most of the department they were the best people. Now if they have to work with somebody who is better than them, that they are not comfortable. So again
Ego related, like
ego आता है और फिर भी आता है कि यार that person has to report to me, so it has to happen in the way I am saying. Because I have been successful, so
Yeah.
same things have to be used again using the same systems. That is the second part. Third part is when you have to grow your business, you have to invest first. Results will come later. As of now, it is more like a P&L game. Okay, I get a sale, I spend so much, and I make a profit of so and so, and that's what has been their pattern.
Yeah.
But now to go from let's say a 5 CR business to a 8 to 10 CR business, you need to invest first because your business will grow later. You need to have maybe a lot more salespeople. You need to have that senior and the middle management. So you will have to put some money, and again that thought is not very comfortable with them. To put in the money when it may not give you the profit what they have always got. So that mindset again has to happen ki, okay, I need to have some kind of savings or I have to take some investment from outside in which I can put in the business so that my business goes to the next level of 2x 3x or whatever they are looking at. Otherwise what
in
will
this
happen?
scale of businesses, do like business loans when they take from bank, is it like a very high rate of interest?
No, they get because if they are 2 5 crores of business, they
Yeah.
get easily ODs from the bank.
Okay.
Maybe if they have some own assets, then the OD rates are very minimal, like a 9.5 or something. If they don't have their own property, still they are able to get a lot of ODs on their business at not a very high rate of interest. They are able to get it, and maybe that's why now you see a lot of people want to get an investor on board. So some seed round can happen or some angel funding can happen, so that they can get money and they can get some equity, which is I completely ask them not to do that. Why? Because again their systems are not ready to get something from outside. So two challenges happen in this. One, if the systems and processes are not there, if they don't have the right people, then the money will come and it will disappear in day-to-day things rather than it being helped in the growth of the venture. And the second part
Unless
is
the investor coming on board is contributing in the systems also. Like
even if they are
bettering.
contributing into the system, they can only contribute into a system, not into, they can give you references, they may open the doors for you. But if your sales patterns, if your finances, cash flow, if your operations are not systemized, then the money can disappear very quickly in just day-to-day things, in operations or to pay salaries.
That's right.
And the second
And
major,
also so many investors, for them, like they have invested in so many businesses, they don't give that time also. So that is again is, and they will like maybe after a year they will sell their stake or whatever. Like so, it's you end of the day वो आपका ही करना है, जो processes and all that in place which you are talking about.
and sometimes the investor will start asking you, again that thought is not very comfortable
Pressure,
with the
yeah.
business founder because as the case is business pressure is there.
Yeah.
And now this extra pressure of somebody who's asking you till
Yeah.
right now, because you were the solo owner or you were partners who were running the business, you were not accountable. But now there is somebody because he has given you
Yeah.
money, so you are accountable to that person. So that challenge again comes up, which is not an easy feeling to digest for the business founders.
Yes, yes.
So you have to think twice to really get an investor on board. Better to use your savings, to use friends, family, get money from them, build up to a point in which your systems are there, your manpower, the right manpower is there, then you can think of getting the investor on board.
That's right. Any other challenges or something that you want
These are the major three challenges which I understand.
Okay.
Ki
To
first,
summarize, then what would they?
I will say the first part is that they should have the right manpower. The middle management has to happen. The second thing is that systems and processes have to come into place because whatever has worked till now may not work till now. And third, they have to invest first before thinking about getting their P&L. So in the growth, that's the third part. Invest first.
That's right. Zaunty, in terms of, let's say, the clarity of goals, and I think you have something within that in your program also creating clarity. So, how do you kind of generally go about that? Like, if you could get a audience to get an idea of that.
I can say that my program has three parts. The first part is mind conditioning. The mindset becomes ready for the growth. Second part is clarity. What do you need? And how do you will get it, whatever you need. And the third part is accountability. So we act like more like a personal trainer in which whatever we have decided to do, we have to do it because very high chances you will go away from that. Answering your question, the second part, the clarity part. Once you are doing so much firefighting in day-to-day business, your clarity of goals is not there because you have a lot of options to choose from. So whatever you sometimes you say, okay, I will do this, and while doing this, some other thing comes up, you start doing that, and it becomes a khichdi, a mixture. So in the start, whenever you want to grow your business, you have to pinpoint and put it on paper what your exact goals are in terms of the revenue, in terms of the manpower, in terms of the investment that you need, and you put it on paper. Like the old saying says, ki if you put it on paper, chances of really achieving that is very high. But it has to be very clear thing, more like a business plan. So what we do is we help them to create a business plan in which your complete expenses, the probable expenses which can happen to achieve that revenue is there. What sort of a team you will need. If a business is on 5 CR right now and they want to achieve 8 CR for the next year. So that is your revenue goal. So to achieve 8 CR, what all sort of manpower you need, that clarity has to happen. Is your product good enough to give you that kind of revenue? Or is it only will be able to give you 5 CR? That clarity has to happen. Then maybe you need to create a new product or service to get to that 8 CR. Maybe sometime product has the potential, your team has the potential, but market is not really market, but there is too much competition. So you also have to do a lot of competition analysis. If your product will be able to get to 8 CR, although your product is very good, you have super salespeople, but market is flooded with competitors, or maybe some disruptor has came up like ChatGPT. It disrupted a lot of businesses. Because now I don't need to utilize their services. I can just go to a ChatGPT, maybe take a professional version, and my thing can be done up to a point. So clarity is first of all the revenue clarity, the manpower clarity, the product clarity, the market clarity, and the biggest thing which sometimes people are not able to comprehend is how much hunger I have. Some business founders are very aggressive. They want to go to 2x, 3x, 4x. So as per their constitution, you have to get the clarity of goals. If you are not hungry enough, then better to go to a point in which you are comfortable, you are enjoying the process rather than, because everybody is talking about 2x, 3x, you are also pursuing 2x, 3x, and you are not enjoying it. And if you want to enjoy it, very high chance in between, you will leave it.
That's right.
So clarity of lot of things have to happen if the growth has to happen in which you want that to happen.
That's right. In terms of these small, medium-sized enterprises, which is the majority of, if you take an Indian ecosystem, business ecosystem, like with respect to employees, like hiring and those kind of things, what do you feel you've seen pitfalls, like where they are not doing that right with the human resources?
So nowadays recruitment is very difficult. Because employees also have a lot of options to choose for, and because of the so much coming in social media, everybody wants to work with Googles and bigger companies.
That's it.
So one, the recruitment is very difficult for these people. Even if you have a very good organization structure, you have created the hierarchies, but recruitment takes 3 to 4 months for the
white
people.
collar में मतलब जो
white collar में भी थोड़ा middle management में 3 to 4 months आपको लगते ही हैं. People come in and attrition rates are becoming very high because now employees want a lot of things. It's not only about the money part. Okay, you give them good salaries, good perks, they will stay. No, they also want a lot of appreciation. Even the middle management, they want a proper KRAs, very highly defined KRAs, what my role is. And then they also want people around them to be cooperative. They don't want to work in organization where there is so much toxic culture.
Mm.
And toxic culture also comes from majorly two things. One part is the KRA of people are not there, and second, the SOPs are not there. So either you will you will stay when you know what you have to do, and you also know how to do it. But these things are sadly missing, which becomes one of the biggest part of me and my team to help with the organization. Create clear organization structure, KRAs, and also the systems and the processes, how to do that.
That's it. I've observed that what happens in many of these companies is when they hire the people at manager level, even when you take somebody who's done an MBA, वो directly some manager level पे आ गया, like assistant or something like that. So they expect कि यार this person comes in, वो खुद ही कर लेगा सब कुछ, like kind of thing. So there's too much of expectation, and without a proper training or something, like, because end of the day जो भी main head है, manager, his job is that these guys can do the job properly.
Correct.
So which doesn't happen. They leave it you like on your own. Most of the in sales is maximum, wherein
it is also left it. Matlab, one thing is the induction part, like you said.
Yeah.
But induction happens. But what happens is कि after a point there has to be continuous training. So it can't be the case कि in the first 15 days you have a lot of training programs and induction for a new person to come in. But it may also happen कि after 2-3 months, after 6 months, they start getting lost in between. Because everybody.
I've also observed that the regular interaction is also not happening, wherein like there is a time given for the employee to talk to the manager about their like what they are facing and how they can improve, and they are doing this is not working. This kind of regular thing which I have observed in bigger companies, they have a structure place which is happening. So as we were saying, too much of just firefighting happening, and that's where there's a disconnect a lot. So it's like the employee just waiting for an opportunity कि मैं कब निकल जाऊँ उधर से, like when I get a better opportunity. So if he's always in that thing, then you can never have retain anyone for more than a year or so.
No, even if people do get retained, but that productivity doesn't happen because as of now, what they do is कि they are doing it.
Yeah.
But the monotonity happens. It is they are not enjoying it, and nowadays people will have to enjoy their work to get the best output from them. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So, like you rightly said, ki the training has to happen. That interaction between the management and the other people has to happen, and that will only happen if there are proper hierarchies, proper reporting structure.
That's why people like you will come in where obviously as a businessman he is not having an idea. Maybe he's not worked in a big company also. So he doesn't know that processes which you have to address so that it's a good experience for the human resources.
Right.
Where you are giving him that with your experience and obviously interacting with so many businessmen, and then you kind of set a pathway for them within that.
Absolutely. So again, the clarity part comes into that. Okay, when they get clarity, okay, this needs to be done. Again, the mindset has to comprehend to that.
Yes.
They have to. They agree sometimes, but when they start going on the path of this employee interaction, again, very high chances they will go back to their old firefighting, and again, in between the processes, go for a toss.
That's right. That is where the accountability with you also when they are interacting is happening. Like that is required. Like everyone, even though you might be leading everything, you need even the most independent leader who feels he can do everything. He needs some person to guide. That is there. That you can reach the highest levels, but you want that. That is like a human need also. Like you want some kind of guide. Yeah, तुम जो करे वो ठीक करे ये बदल सकते हो kind of thing. So
like you say, na Nikhil, even a coach needs a coach. Even for sometimes my organization, I ask my team member to act like a coach to me and the organization so that we also follow the same path which we are asking the others to follow.
That's right. So Zaunty, you like to share something like any kind of like a success story or like which you use like a case study for, like services you provide, which really worked out well, which can be a lesson also to the, upcoming business persons.
So the case study, if I say the success story has been with my first client, like I said, who gave me the first opportunity. So Mr. Chirag Jain. So I am still working with him. It has been almost 5.5 years. And there I also learned a lot of things because I worked very closely with him, and in between the lockdown happened in which me, him and couple of people were working, and everybody was working remotely. So we understood the small parts, how to create project Bibles, how to really create the KRA systems. So bit by bit, we had implemented everything with him. So if you ask me a case study, that is a case study with Chirag Jain. And also,
So a little bit to the audience, Chirag Jain, who is he and what kind of business?
so Mr. Chirag Jain has a brand name called Credility. It's a mobile app company which makes mobile apps for BFSI. So they have been in this IT for last 12 years, and 5 years they have created their own products for BFSI.
Yeah, which would be like the main product?
So they have three main products. One is for BFSI, for the lending companies. They have the collection software. So if company gives a loan and BFC gives a loan, for tier 2, tier 3, still a collection officer goes and collect cash or check or DD from them. And then they have an onboarding solution, which is a solution in which the automation or the digitalization of the form happens. If you have taken a loan, you may understand you have to fill in a loan. But then the sales person goes, fill that form, goes back, again there are so many errors, and then to and fro happens. So they have completely digitalized it through a mobile app. And they are also have a complete LOS, which is loan origination system, from the lead generation to the disbursement. So that has been the journey last 5.5 years, in which they have almost 5x the revenue. The revenue has become 5x for when we started off. A lot of systems are in place. And
so they have been associated with you in this time?
Yeah, last 5.5 years. And we have also done a small seed round. The seed round funding has also happened in this year.
That's great.
So we have covered almost all aspects of what our business owner goes through. But still the challenges are there. It's not the case just because I work with them, because again the mindset challenge. I still have to tell them it's okay. It's okay. Things will become what we want to become. But sometimes you become a bit afraid. You get fear of the unknown. अभी यहाँ तक तो पहुँच गए हैं, आगे it will happen or not happen. The challenges are mounting now. So when it was like a 22 people company, the challenges were different. Now they are almost 90 people with a lot of hierarchies and middle management. Now the challenges are very different. So yes, a lot of good things have happened. The other part of challenges comes up. But those three challenges still remains the same.
That's right.
Although with Chirag, the best part has been he has been able to take care of the third part. Invest first and then expect the returns. He has done it very well. So that part he has done it very well. But the first two, the systems have to change with the organization growing. That challenge is still there. And the second part is also there. You have to have clarity of what next. Because the more bigger you become, the more choices you get. Let's do this, let's get into this market, let's get into this market. So you have to have a clear defined goal in front of you so that you are able to achieve that.
So Zaunty, in terms of if you would like to give your opinion on the ecosystem of startup, like say scaling from virtually zero to 2 or 3 crores in your business, like do you feel that ecosystem is like in place very well? Like it is very you can say achievable dream. Like when you say it's not like a pipe dream, so it can happen like 2-3 years. May you can see that if you are, and let's take a context also, like say you're in a big city or like you can say non-metro and all. Like what is the ground level reality?
So ground reality, I will give you one example.
Yeah.
So I was just speaking to my team members. I think it was last week. So I was asking them, what is your goal? Tell me. That person has joined new. So I asked him, what your goal is? He said, well, I want to become an entrepreneur. So I said, okay, so what is stopping you? He said, no, I want to become an entrepreneur in 3-4 years. So as the case said, that's why I joined you. so I can understand how a business works.
So he was not having a business.
No, he still doesn't have a business, but he
Achha.
wants to start a business in
Okay,
3-4
okay.
years time.
Okay.
So I said, what's stopping you right now? Why don't you start it? He said, no, right now I don't know what product to have. Maybe I will learn because a company of mine, they are working with so many different domains. So I will understand which is a good domain, which is a good product. So I gave him one example. I said, nowadays, because of, like I said, population gives rise to both the aspects. One, there is a lot of competition and there are a lot of opportunities. So if you create a niche, a small niche, you have opportunities everywhere. I gave in one example. I said we are in a commercial building. So many bikes and four-wheeler come, and there is no parking as such. The parking, whatever is there, is taken care of already.
Yeah.
So now they have to go and park in this range. They have to park here, there, and then BMC has that.
That's a major thing. Like you as an employee, in many, like I've even noticed, like I was working in some companies, so we used to not have a bike parking also. So I had taken somewhere, we were almost paying, like this is like almost 10 years back, you're paying 1,000 rupees.
Right.
So it was in like the business Andheri East area. So that is such a major thing. Like we have to pay that much just so that our bike tic tac go and like it not get stolen or something.
So I said this is a huge opportunity for you. If you want to start a business, why don't you start a business to help these people in taking care of their bikes? So you may have, I will say, you can create 2-3 people, you, couple of your friends or known people, can help them to park their bike somewhere so that they can focus on that. You can start a small company. You will have an opportunity to really expand in my office is in Malad. So you have a huge opportunity to really expand this business, which is a very legal business and very simple business to do, to help these people, and it can create a business model.
There is someone who started a business also where parking for cars, like a person, if you say the location in like 15-20 minutes before the one, someone can come and park your car.
Correct.
Like there is a business now there.
So that's why I'm saying, like you asked me, is there an opportunities for startup? I said there are thousands of opportunities. You have to just look at one problem area, one pain point which you can solve. When I entered into business coaching, the same thing was happened, why my business is failed. So there has to be something. So which I understood was the clarity of thoughts were not there, where I want to take my business. And that's what I'm helping people with. So you have to figure out couple of pain points which the market has right now, and you have to work on that. That's the first part. Second part is somebody like Cred, what they did. They figured out not a problem, but they created a need in mind of people. Otherwise, who thought for credit card bill payment you have to have an app to do that for you? So they created a need. Swiggy created a need. So many things which you create a need. Now people are getting paid a lot. So definitely they are becoming they are becoming lazy, because when the money comes, they want somebody else to take care of.
Do whichever. So anything they want, like that could be a business.
Exactly. So when this is the case, if you are earning good amount of money, then you want somebody to take care of your small things. And that creates a lot of opportunities for young business owners. You have to just figure out couple of pain points, couple of needs that people will pay. You don't have to worry about that.
That was the day. Even when the Uber and all this Ola were there, it was like you, at that time also, you would be paying 3 to 4 times what you would pay, an auto or something. But it was like you didn't want to get into like negotiation at that time.
Correct.
You just want somebody this thing, and there's a convenience you're paying for. So if you establish that, India has enough of people ready to pay resources, and they'll bend backwards for that, getting that convenience. You don't want to you want to just focus on your work. Like like in Mumbai, you've been for almost 30 years. What was the after office you're getting an auto? How difficult it was. So,
which still is. That's why that bike autos came up now.
So now even all the autos virtually, I feel they are on the apps. So सामने से भी नहीं मिल रहा. It's like you have to through the app. That is there. So
opportunities are great, and then you get a lot of investment. So if you have got a good idea and if you can just create an MVP, the viability, if you can show it, people are ready to invest. So 10, 20,
Yeah.
50 lakhs is not difficult now to
Raise that.
Yeah. So that's the answer to your question. Yes, a lot of opportunities are there. You just have to put your mind right to that.
That's right. So, like, so that is a fact wherein the access to, if you don't have the seed capital, also that can be
Absolutely.
arranged for if it's a good plan in place. And also, generally, when like a person like that was coming to you, was doing a job, what would be his technically the path in terms of like initial investment? How does he have to go through it? Like, suppose he's in a big city like Mumbai, he has a plan, some service-based business like that. Initial seed investment, like how much can he get? How does he go about it?
So as of now, in the last 6 years, I have mostly worked with the companies who are already established.
Already, so yeah.
So only 4-5 times I've worked with somebody who's just started and they wanted my help and they came through some connect.
Yeah.
So they said, please, can you help us? And I helped them to do that.
Yeah.
But most of my experience has been focused on going to the next level of growth.
That's right. But generally, like in terms of like if you would be knowing about it, like how they go about it, what is the general pathway like where you're raising for your business, like a first time business guy, even though he could be with a collateral or something, like how does he generally go about it? Like what would you suggest to those guys, few guys which you did for the first time?
So in that way, there are investment bankers, if you can connect to them. Or now with LinkedIn, the opportunity.
Venture capitalists, you were saying?
Venture capital is
higher level.
Higher level, and that is higher level. Now a lot of people who are investing in seed. So a lot of marketplaces are there.
Yeah.
The angel funds are there.
Yeah.
So through LinkedIn or through the search, you can figure out those which are there in India or which is there in your city. So you can directly with a plan, with a clear-cut business plan in which you are projecting what you are doing right now, the detail of the product or service that you have, and what is your 3 to 5 years plan. And then you approach them. So there are organizations which helps you with that. And those organizations you can directly approach with your plan, although they get a lot of plans like that. And they are ready to invest in you if they find.
That's it.
And that's how I think Shark Tank came up.
Yeah.
It was more like a televised version of those small associations of venture capitalists or people who have small funds. So they have.
I think a service-based business is better to start with your own funds only, not seek.
It's difficult to get funding on service-based.
No, I'm saying with your own funds, because manufacturing I understand because you have to do all the things. There is a certain.
Not really, Nikhil. Nowadays, even if it may be a service company, after the next level, now for marketing and to get the right kind of people, you will need funds. So maybe in the start, when you are creating something, if it
no, but from zero, do you suggest like he reaches at least some level where he can showcase that? It's like if just on an idea based and a very minimal sale, it's not even a viable thing to invest. Like so he's wasting his time trying to get investment.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
So even if with the big companies, like who are onto some level like 4 CR, 5 CR, and even with somebody who has got just an idea, you need to go to the level 1, show the viability of the product, put at least some systems in place. In that way, if you are trying to sell a service or a product, at least you should have 4 or 5 clients for that who are already doing what you are, who are already benefiting from your product and service. Once that is in place, then to expand your your venture, then you should go to those. But I will always suggest if you can get it through debt, always go for that route. Don't go try to get investor just because you think it's the easier way out. It is not. Always try to arrange funds from your friends, family, or from wherever you can. And if it is a complete no-no, it is not at all possible, then you should take that route. Otherwise, nowadays, it is very time-consuming thing to really look out for a seed round. It will put a lot of your time and efforts on that, and it may or may not happen. That's what energy you should put in your service, in your venture to take it up.
That's it. Manufacturing businesses, what do you say in terms of like if a person is from a he's not worked in a factory also earlier, is it a viable option to get into a manufacturing business? Like I've seen people then they're making so many of these D2C brands which you are manufacturing some food product or something. So what do you feel the viability of that? If you're not from manufacturing, you want to manufacture
No,
product.
even if you're not from manufacturing, like couple of one of my clients, they were into garments, so it's a D2C brand in which they wanted to start their apparel brand and to go further. It doesn't matter because you can really hire a one or two right people who are from the domain. So
Yeah,
you
that's
may
right.
not have the, but you should be good in something. So let's say you think
Yeah.
you are very good with sales. Then you can have somebody from the garment industry who has experience of 10-15 years to come more of a co-founder or a partner to you in that business who has the domain expertise.
I think in many cases it's like, say you have your brand of thing, the person who is that's a different entity who is maybe manufacturing it technically, but it's all your brand. So it's not technically you even have to manufacture per se.
Yeah.
It's like virtually outsourced.
You can outsource it always.
Yeah.
So, Malab, if you are starting off with a manufacturing unit, either you have been an employee in some manufacturing unit for so many years and you just got some fund from somewhere and you want to start it off. So then you should have somebody who can take care of the sales part because you are the domain expert. Or otherwise you are very good in some field, either in sales or technology, and then you get a domain expert with you as your co-founder, and then you can go around the path. Both the things are right.
That's right. That's it. Awesome, Zaunty. So, in terms of let's say learning, what do you feel if someone who a client has been there with you for some time? What kind of pathway you look at that he continuously there is a learning happening and he's executing things and he's on the right path. Like even though he could be quite some time with you, but then still you're giving him that value going forward in his business.
Like I mentioned, the three pillars which my venture stands for. First is the mind conditioning. For every next round of the growth that you're looking at, the mindset has to first of all become adjusted to that kind of growth. The second is clarity, what all you need. So clarity is needed in every stage of the business. Where to go from now, which market to go, which all product have or not have. Maybe we need to reduce products or add products. And the third part is accountability. It's very, very easy for somebody to lose track while going on the pursuit of growth because again some problem may come. Industry changes, lockdown happens, something happens, and then you start doing firefighting and go away from the path of growth. So then me and my team have to again get them back to that. So all the three happens at every aspect of the growth. So even with, like I said, with Chirag Jain, it still keeps on happening. All the three aspects, me and my team have to take care with him as well. Although 5.5 years is a very, very long time.
That's it.
Being with him.
That's it. It's also like a relation built, and then it's beyond money also, wherein there is that connection you feel which is getting something or the other going for you in your personal or professional growth. So
yeah, the trust happens. Then you also know a lot of things, how the person's constitution is.
That's right.
So then you also learn from them. And while learning with them, then you know, okay, this person will definitely try to take this path. So you better go on that path rather than trying to figure out a new path for that person.
That's right. Awesome. So I think it's been a great podcast here with you, Zaunty.
Thanks a lot.
We learned quite a few things, like especially aspiring business persons, which it's like so much in the media, it's out there, like everybody wants to do it, but obviously doing it is a different thing. That is where even like where I have noticed things that somewhere if you have a decent amount of intelligence, you are from a bigger city, you've studied, work for some time, you have to somewhere take that leap of faith. Like obviously people like you will help it make it in a structured way and give a good guidance, but definitely that खुद में एक daring रहनी चाहिए, which जैसे like as a businessman that is required. That वो एक कीड़ा तो रहता है कि I want to do something myself. So
your mind has to get ready for. If you want to achieve something, first your mind has to get ready to achieve that thing.
Yes.
Physical things, there is a saying which I always say: everybody has got the physical resources to achieve what they want.
Yeah.
Why only few people succeed is because of their mind conditioning.
Yes.
Because their mind is not conditioned, that's why they don't achieve. what they are looking
That's
at.
right.
Although physical resources are always there with them.
Yeah. Like everything is in front of them,
Yeah.
but it's still like you just cannot push yourself, in that every day.
That's right.
Yeah, that is the main. I think that is where those who achieve the 0.1% and those who are still in that dream of thing, that is what it differentiates. So you have to have that obviously minds. Today, I mean, information is out there everywhere. You have everything in front of me. Today, nobody can make an excuse that I don't have for a business like resources or knowledge or people and all. Everything is kind of available. It's now up to you only to kind of do it. So awesome. So Zaunty, just to wrap up, then you can look at certain resources like what do you generally see, what channels or podcast or content or reading thing that you do to keep yourself up to date, because you are someone who is going to be advising these coaches. You have to have a steady flow of consuming a good content also to make some systems or processes some kind of a pathway. So what do you consume this in?
So I'm lately reading a lot about marketing and branding in that way. So systems are those three pillars we have to keep on expanding, because again, with science a lot of new things happen. So on the mindset part, on the clarity part, and the accountability part. The mindset part I have to keep on studying, I have to keep on updating my knowledge, so that I won't say I have to be update on that, but a lot of new things. Sometimes you read a book twice and some other aspect comes up which you can help people with. And one thing which is I will say not lacking, but which is still in primitive stages in India, is the branding part. People don't brand themselves. So that is something, the niche is not there. So they are working for everybody, their product is for everybody. So they are not coming out telling why I am doing what I am doing. What is this for? What is my main differentiator? People are not talking about that. So that is something which I am working on, and which is I am trying to really help the business founders to incorporate branding part in addition to the lead generation which they are doing. So I'm reading a lot on branding, marketing.
I think that is what is happening in business. If you're observing a very specific product for a very specific segment,
Right.
Like a very specific product. Like I think there was someone like milk delivery, A1 milk, some brand is there.
Country Delight was there.
Yeah, which is like you have something about the cows and something this thing, and how the milk is actually you get is impure, and how this is so very like a business which is like been there for hundreds of years. Like how you can like rebrand it with a narrative that you make.
Absolutely.
So that is where like there is a small like a specific problem, very specific, like that is, and that is the opportunity today digitally, where you can really research very well on your own. Don't need a research company. You can do so much yourself, and then you can try to create a business around that.
Absolutely.
Awesome, great. So thanks a lot, Zaunty. Thanks for your time. Awesome, and to the audience, the MI podcast is available on all the major podcast networks, and we are also on YouTube. So please, you can go there and subscribe to us. So until the next time, I'll see you. Take care.